In this video, I'm going to show you guys how to use the TI83, TI84 graphing calculator to solve this. We are going to find the k value so that the absolute value of the second derivative of our function is less than or equal to k. And in this case, we just want the x to be in between of 1 and 5, including the 1 and including the 5. And the function is f of x equal to 1/2 x times cosine x and then plus 3. First, you have to know this is something that we have to know how to do whenever we're trying to use the midpoint or the trapezoid rule, right? And that's for approximating an integral, and this k is in Lewis error formula. So here is the version we have to deal with the second derivative. And let me explain this right here for you guys. What is the k? From here, this is pretty much saying k is the maximum value of the absolute value of the second derivative. Once again, k is the maximum of the absolute value of the second derivative when we are talking about the x values are between 1 and 5. Okay, right here, we have to do the second derivative, right? Here's the function. Let's go ahead and differentiate this twice, and we'll end up with this. You can check the video that I have for you guys in the description. You can see how I go from here to here, right? And to do this on the calculator, we are just going to put this in the absolute value, right? And then we are going to graph that. So we are going to graph y is equal to absolute value of the second derivative. So let me show you how to do that. First, you see that we are dealing with cosine and sine, right? So be sure our calculator is in the radians mode. So let me go ahead and check that. It is in the radians mode, right? So that's good. We are good to go. Now let's go to y equals to right here. And I'm going to enter this right here. I do have to have the absolute value. And to get the absolute value, you are going to go to catalog. And it's in blue, right? So I have to hit second catalog. And then the first one, ABS, that's the absolute value. And on my calculator, it does show you the straight bars. So that's the absolute value symbol. And I'm just going to enter this right here on the calculator. Use this for negative 1/2. So that's like -1/2 times x. And then times cosine. And we have to enter the x inside of the cosine, like that. At the end, we have to minus sine x, like this. So that's the expression that we have for the second derivative, right? And then inside of the absolute value. And now I'm just going to go to graph to see what we get. As you can see, at the moment, my window is in the standard zoom, right? So let me show you. Sometimes if you want to get to this, you have to go to zoom and then zoom standard right here, number 6. And this is what you will have. That means you go up 10, go to right 10, and go down 10, and then go to left 10. Well, I'm interested for the x value to be in between 1 and 5, right? So maybe you can want to change the window a little bit. So let me show you how to do that. So, and you can also press on so you can pause the graph if it's taking too long, by the way. Anyways, go to Windows. For the x minimum, even though I want to just go from 1 to 5, right? But I just want to go a little bit to the left so I can see the bigger picture, right? So press 0 maybe, and then up to 6 maybe. And the deal is, as long as you can see the whole graph, that's good. So anyways, we have 0 to 6. And because I know we are dealing with absolute value for the graph, I don't need to get to the negative y values. But I don't want to put 0 neither. Let me just press -1. And maybe 10 is good. So let me just use this for the window. And once again, you can just graph it, and you can see if this is a good graph or not. If you can see pretty much the whole thing, then that means it's good. So you can see that this is the graph for the second derivative inside of the absolute value. And technically, we just care about from 1 to 5, right? So it's from 1, and I think this is to 5 right here. All right. Once again, k is the maximum of the absolute value of the second derivative, and we have the absolute value of the second derivative right here already. That's the graph. So now, what I'm going to do is, to get the maximum, we hit second calc. This is where that you are going to make the best use of this calculator, right, in the calculus class. This is the place that makes this calculator worth that $100-something. Anyways, we are going to get to the maximum, which is option number 4. Press that. And right here it says left bound, right? This is the place that you should press 1. Okay, it says the left endpoint is 1 for the x value, so press 1. And it shows you that this vertical line on this calculator, and you can see why I chose 0 earlier, because I really just want to see the whole thing right on this screen, on this window. And now it's asking me for the right bound, which is 5. So press 5. So between 1 and 5. Well, we're looking for the maximum. And right here, this is the slightly trickier part. It says guess, and you have the cursor right here, right? It's this little thing right here. You have to press the cursor to the maximum I can see, which is on top of this right here, right? So press it to the top, try to go close to it, but you don't want to guess yourself. You have to just get here first and then press enter one more time. Right here, I'm going to press enter right here. And you have to wait for the calculator, and it will show you the maximum. And the maximum is when x is equal to 3.8088, right? And the y value is 2.1148, like this. Well, the y represents the absolute value of the second derivative. So this number here is the k value. This is how we are going to get the k, all right? So you use the y right here. This is how we are going to get the k. And if you are using the Simpson's rule, you have to use the fourth derivative. So you just have to get the fourth derivative, and the rest are pretty much the same thing. So this is it. Hopefully you guys find this helpful. That's it.